In this video, I'm going to show you guys what option selects are, and this is basically a skill that is dedicated for beginner to intermediate players, and it's usually going to bump up your skill a lot, especially if you practice it. And you can use them in all parts of the game. But first, I'm going to explain what option selects are. So option selects are basically a set of inputs that you do always or all the time in order to beat multiple good options. And I'm also going to give you the info.net description or site that you can use to actually see what the proper definition of it is. But this is basically just how I define them. You do a set of inputs, and those set of inputs beat multiple things that are usually good in the game. And it's very useful to know because it applies in all games usually. And it also makes it a lot easier for you to play better offense, defense, and neutral as well. So let's go over the examples. So the first one that I'm going to show you is going to be for offense, and it is a basic safe jump setup, which you might have seen previously. So basically what you do is with Chun-Li, you do the safe jump setup, and that is basically this. You need to have a knockdown and with an entire jump afterwards, and basically the jump needs to be -3 to -4, I believe, which is the frame data behind it. But basically you need to have enough time after you knock down the enemy to jump and land, and you need to be less than -5 because that's the fastest reversal that they can do. And what this basically does is, if the enemy in that case does a reversal, in Cammy's case, when she's knocked down, she's gonna do a EXDP right now. So what this does is you come down with a button, and while you do that, you hold the back direction or down back, depending whatever you want. And usually I'd go for down back because after landing, you're doing down heavy punch again, unless you block something. So as you can see, the situation right now is you do the safe jump, and you do the heavy button in there, and if the enemy doesn't do anything there, they're gonna have to block that thing. But if they press anything, they're gonna get hit. And if they try to reversal as they did there, basically you can see you're able to block it. So that is the basic thing that this safe jump does. It allows you to block reversals, buttons, and mashing tech throw on wake up. So it beats those multiple options at the same time. But if they try to block, they're gonna block it and nothing happens to you. So you're basically just gonna do those two things there. And what's good about this is basically on offense, you're doing the same thing over and over again. So you're doing the setup, right? That is basically all. You can look at my inputs. The inputs are turned on the left side of the screen. Basically, you're doing this every single time. So you're just jumping, holding down back with heavy button, and pressing heavy button like twice if you want to confirm if they are reversaling or if they're just mashing and they're just gonna get hit by this, and you can just repeat it. Right? This is just set to do EXDP for showcasing that it works in this case. Let me just put crouching light punch, for example, if they wake up with that. Vertical jump. Let's also set throw in there. We're just gonna show the other side. I think you can even do it against drive impact because you're technically gonna have 3 hits there and it's gonna destroy it. So it works basically against most stuff on defense. However, it does have a weakness as well. Where's the throw? There it is. And the weakness, as all option selects do, they all have a weakness, obviously, because they would be too crazy if they didn't have one, but they're still good to do. So let's do the setup again. Right, any of those 3 options that she does now is also gonna get beat by this safe jump setup, right? You can see they're mashing throw, jab, or what did I set it to? Vertical jump. Basically everything gets beat if they mash on wake up. Now, as you might have noticed if you're not a beginner, the thing that beats this is basically blocking and doing a delay reversal action. So for example, you just block the down hit, and if I try to do this manually, like not manually, but without any second thought, right? There might be a gap after. If I go into this, usually there's no gap if I go into the light punch, but in that case you just block all the time. But you can EX reversal if there's any gap in the setup there. So basically what you have to do on defense is block the jumping in. That's what they're called, safe jumps. You just have to kind of take it. Usually that the best option is just to block it and then try to reversal afterwards. Now you don't have to do it, you can just block it out. Obviously that all depends on how you want to play it and what you think the enemy's going to do, but that is basically the base option of how to do it. All right, next up we're going to talk about option selects in neutral, and the basic option select for neutral is called input buffering. And the idea behind it is basically you're just doing a button and a set of inputs, usually a special or a super behind it. So for example, for Chun-Li, a really good button for that is her crouching medium kick. And you can buffer the entire motion for the next move behind it. Now the idea is to do this move outside of the range of the enemy. Because if you're like standing right here and you're trying to do it, obviously this is more likely to get blocked, right? Because they can just do nothing. But if you're just doing it at the outside range of them, there's a chance of them walking into it. And the reason you have buffered the entire motion behind it with the button, as you can see, I'm doing crouching medium kick into quarter circle forward light kick there, is if it connects, it's basically always going to connect into the special afterwards. And you can also do this with Chun-Li with her super. So as you can see, I'm doing crouching medium kick into level 2. You don't want that to happen, by the way, that was a mistake. I'm doing a crouching medium kick into the entire level 2 input afterwards, which is double quarter circle forwards plus heavy kick in my case. You can do it with other kicks, but I'm just showing it because it's easier to understand in video. So the idea is I'm doing the entire motion of her level 2 super every time I'm doing crouching medium kick in neutral. And if it connects, this is gonna happen. If it whiffs, nothing happens. Usually you just whiff the crouching medium kick. Now in this game, this is not that strong. It, as you can see, it doesn't do that much damage, but it is still a useful tool. But for example, in Third Strike, this used to do literally like half of your health. And every Chun-Li player would abuse this because it was really strong, right? And in that game, if you whiff buttons, you build meters, so it was even better, to be honest. Now, what you don't want to happen, as you have seen in one of the examples that I just did there, is if you input the super, in my case, a bit too late, you're gonna get the super to come out on whiff. Now this is really bad, you don't want this to happen, so therefore you're gonna have to speed up the input of the super behind it to not get it to come out. So basically all you have to do if the super is coming out after a button is you're doing it way too slow, so you have to speed up the super input. Now this is a bit tough for beginners, and you can also make it even tougher by doing moves that are faster, that had faster recovery. Now you have to input it even faster. For example, for Chun-Li, one of her popular moves to do this is her standing or forward or back medium punch. And this move is a bit faster than a crouching medium kick, but it means you have to input the super faster or this happens. So it is possible. As you can see, I did it there, but it's a lot tougher than just... As you can see, this requires a lot of practice. Especially like if you're using this in game. I basically can't do it from that button, but there's people that probably can. As you can see, it's really tough to do. And there's a room for improvement for literally everybody. So you're basically trying to buffer the entire super behind her standing medium punch, and damn, is it hard. I'm finding it hard to do in training mode, not to mention real matches, to be honest. And obviously, as well as the other example, you want to use it outside of the range of the enemy. Now you don't want to get too hasty with this. As I said, the weakness of this is they can just press into it and destroy you, right? So this is a skill that's intermediate, kind of intermediate, but that shit can go all the way up to godlike level if you're doing this good. And obviously neutral is usually the hardest part of Street Fighter, so learning how to do it is gonna take an endless amount of time if you wanted to. Now we have another option select, which is the defense one, and basically all I'm gonna show you is a delayed tech, and not delayed tech off the ground, but a delayed throw tech basically. And for this, you're gonna have to do a bit of work to set it up properly. Now, the first thing that she does is I have it set to start the recording on input. So basically the first thing you input is going to start off the recording, and we're going to make recording 1. All right, so I set it up here. So basically what I want you to do to train this properly is do a throw and then walk up and do another throw. That is the first recording, right? Now the second recording is going to be a throw, walk up, and jab. Now this is all you need to set up for the delayed tech throw training. You basically need a throw into throw loop or throw into jab. And you set Kemi to do this, and you turn both of these options on, and you turn them on random basically, and you turn off the replay info display. You don't want to see what they're gonna do based on how long your recording is, so you technically know what to do. Now that you have the recordings, the basic idea of what you're trying to do is after you're getting thrown once, so you let the first throw happen, and then you just manually delay your throw button. And the idea behind that is you're trying to beat a wake up button. As you can see from the recordings, I recorded jab for a reason there. So what you're trying to do is emulate the sequence of enemy trying to do a jab on your wake up or throw on your wake up. And if they jab, the idea is you delay your tech just enough for the jab to be blocked. So basically all you have to do is hold down back and then press throw a bit later. And the idea is you're trying to cover both options. That's the option select that I'm talking about there. So you're blocking the button if you wake up, and if they throw, you're just in time to also tech the throw at the same time. So now this is kind of finicky. You're gonna fuck it up obviously a lot of times, but that's the idea behind it. You're pressing throw a bit later than right on wake up, and you're doing it manually, so you have to time it yourself. There is no easy way to do this. And the idea is you're blocking the button on wake up, and at the same time you're trying to cover the throw if it's coming on wake up. And you know, there's a fine line of you riding there between being in time to tech the throw and blocking the button at the same time. They can obviously delay their timing and not do wake up button and just walk back for a bit, and then you're getting shimmied. But you know, there's no better way to do this on defense. It is basically a simple option select on defense, but against low level players it's gonna work every single time. And it's a really good skill to know. And that'll be it for this video. So if you have anything else to ask, please feel free to do so in the comment section down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.